Down by 2, now they're out of timeouts. Down by 2, 1.3 left. Down 2, gets a shot off.
Down by 2.
Well, what do we have here? It's another goddamn episode of the Down by 2 podcast. I'm your host, Josh Elijah. To the left of my screen, or to the right of your screen, I got Jesse McKay, aka Birdman.
Yo.
How you doing, buddy? Yo, good to
Good.
fucking
What
see
is
you,
going
my guy.
on?
Oh, my dude, it's been we took a couple weeks off. Yeah, man, it's good to be back here. It's good to see your beautiful face. How you been?
I've been good. Good.
It's
the busiest time of year. I can't wait for Christmas to be over, and it'll just be way more chill after that.
Bruh, Amanda, every day she comes home with at least $50 worth of Dollarama Christmas decorations and bullshit.
Oh,
It's just
God.
I love it. I love that we're that festive, but God
Yeah,
damn,
it's cute.
it's cute.
Consumer
It's cute.
hell, though.
Oh yeah, dude, it's insane, man. I mean, I'm really stoked for the holidays. I can't wait. I'm really stoked for the slate of NBA games that's coming up too.
Oof.
We're gonna be able to get into that in the coming weeks as well. But yeah, the holidays, it's a lot of mixed emotions. Speaking of which, I totally thought that the Blue Jays were going to get a nice little Christmas treat, but it turns out we fucking didn't, and that's what we're going to jump into. But this could maybe be possible without our good friends over at Crier Media. Visit crier.co for all things DB2 related and sports related content, and by our pals over at Indestructible. Visit Indestructible online and use promo code DOWNBY2 for 15% off your next order. And you can't forget about our boys over at Yup Beer. These guys right here. Visit yupbeer.com to find a location near you. Now available in beer stores and liquor stores and grocery stores all across Ontario. So visit yupbeer.com to find a location near you. I am not going to drink a Yup beer. I'm feeling a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a Caesar right now.
I thought that was a Coke at first. I was like, what are you doing, dude?
Duck for cover.
Celebration?
No, I'm not celebrating anything. I decided to drink a Caesar here because our guest on the show doesn't know what the fuck these are, but we'll get to that in a minute.
They're so good. They're the best. Man, I swear to God, when we were in Hamilton for the Grey Cup and you just randomly brought Caesars with you,
Yeah,
dude, it has sent me on a serious tear through some Caesars. That's all I've been drinking lately.
Oh man, dude, Caesars are
It
the best.
triggered me.
So what are you a spicy guy? Do you go spicy or do you go in middle of the road when it comes to
dude,
the regular? Because I know your tolerance when it comes to spice, and it's not as high as others. So
well, I enjoy
a bit
a
of a
spicy. Yeah, see, I enjoy spice, but it's it's the aftershock that I don't love so much. But anyways, the pickled bean one that you gave me, that one slaps, bro.
Yeah, doggy.
It's so good.
Does it tickle your pickled bean?
Oh yeah. I love
Dude,
it.
oh man, it's so good. And it's crazy that Americans don't know what the fuck we're talking about when it comes to Caesars. They're like, oh, like a Bloody Mary. I'm like, ew, no. Fucking
Ew.
Caesars. You got to get that clam juice in you, my man.
Yeah, I feel like they're missing out, man. And if they just tried one little sip, they would understand what it's all about, you know?
You know what else Americans don't get, and I think it's Canadian stuff as well, or it's strictly Canadian and not American, which is apparently I think it's Smarties. I don't think they have Smarties down in the States.
And they make fun of Smarties.
Yeah, I mean they're not really missing much. I mean Smarties are okay, but I'd so much rather have an M&M anyways. Yeah, it is a little mid, but what isn't mid, and I don't think that they have this either, is Coffee Crisp. Now that is a chocolate bar. What?
Let's go. I'm saying yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. I will have that for breakfast any day of the week. That is the breakfast of champions right there. They need to make a Coffee Crisp cereal. Is that an actual thing?
I don't think so. I mean, they've got everything else. They even have friggin' Timbits cereal now.
Oh, Timbits. Yeah, something that the Americans don't really have a whole lot of. But yeah, I brought up our guest today, which I'll introduce in just a bit. But it's been with all the holiday cheer and what have you, it's been a bit of a rough week up here north of the border, especially in Toronto, and for Blue Jays fans, as you all definitely know. all the rumblings of Shohei Ohtani being signed by the Blue Jays ended up falling to shit. And we're going to be able to dive into that. I'm going to bring on our guest on the show. He is a good pal of mine. We actually go way back to the Boston Pizza days. Remember them?
Yep.
BP days. Oh,
Sure
boy.
do.
He started off, now, just to give you a bit of a background, this guy started off as a regular at our bar, and that's how I became really good friends with him. And we went to go do everything under the sun when he was working in Toronto. He works on movie sets and TV shows and what have you. Very, very talented at what he does. But I wanted to bring him on here because he is one of the biggest Dodger fans that I know personally, a Dodger Nation diehard, if you will. And he's a professional racer as well. Just an all-around rad guy. It's been a hot fucking minute since I've seen him. So I'm really stoked to be able to have him on the show. Everybody give it up for Ryan Herem. Ryan, my man, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, man, it's good to see you. I just want to add the thing that you missed most on your Canadian chocolate is we don't have, I think it's arrows. Is that the one with the air?
Yeah,
the air bubbles in it. We don't have those.
What
that's a good
have?
one.
That is
a bunch of bullshit.
Tootsie Rolls? Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, we got Tootsie Rolls and bad politics.
Dude, oh man, Arrow, you're missing out on Arrow too. They got like Arrow Mint as well, which also fucking slaps. I mean, like, if I'm gonna put that in the chocolate bar hierarchy, I mean, like, that's towards the top of the pyramid, but I put Coffee Crisp over top of that as well.
Yeah.
But
all day.
Up here in Canada, I mean, you guys get Shohei Ohtani, we get Arrow, right? So I mean, that's the way I guess it crumbles.
It's an equal trade. It's an equal trade, I feel.
Oh fuck, it isn't. I mean, you throw Coffee Crisp into it, then yeah, maybe a little bit more equal. I don't know.
We get more than 10 years of Arrow bars, so.
Yeah, and healthcare, so that's good too.
Yeah, and you guys have healthcare.
I love how we're having you on the show here while you're fucking stuck in LA traffic right now. Is it
possible to us live from the car?
From the car. Can you show us how bad it is right now? Are you still by Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, look, if you look up there's Dodger logos right on the side of the freeway.
Oh yeah. And fucking Shohei's like just around the corner there.
Yeah, we're literally Dodger Stadium's just on top of the hill up here. It's traffic here like this every single day. I don't know. It's 6 lanes each direction. It's jammed up, and there's no way to get around it. You just have to eventually learn to just take your medicine.
I don't even feel fucking bad for you at all. I mean, like, after what you guys did to us last week, I don't fucking pity you at all. I'm happy that you're actually stuck in traffic right now. It makes me. I'll be able to go to bed feeling good tonight, knowing that you're probably still stuck in traffic before you make it home. So, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I enjoyed my time in Toronto. I spent 6 or 7 months there. It was a great city. Yeah. I really, really had a good time. However, there's not a comparison between Newport Beach and anywhere in Toronto. So when they were saying that it was going to be between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, I thought weather alone is a very dramatic difference between the two. I feel like our team has been better over the long run over the last 10 years. I felt like things were there had to be some sort of sentiment for him to want to go to Toronto. He lives I've been all over the country. There's not much nicer than Newport Beach. I think he lives like on the water. I don't know why you.
Well, he obviously hasn't been to Ipperwash Beach, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
or Sugar Beach or
or Grand Bend or Sugar Beach. Yeah. Oh, we got Sugar Beach. Yeah. That's he hasn't been to Hanlon's Point with all the guys walking around with their dicks out.
Exactly.
That's our nude beach, and that, I guess, is our answer to Newport. I've never been to Newport. Compare Newport to Huntington, which is where you're from.
I live. It's literally the next city up. So it's 5 minutes, but
okay.
There's not much difference. It just where he lives. I know the idea, like the area that he lives. where Mike Trout lives, I'm assuming Shohei is close too. Trout's on like a $12 million house on the ocean. So, obviously incredible. I do not live in a $12 million house on the ocean. I can only imagine what that feels like. I'm sure it's nice, but the weather's unbeatable. It's right now it's 68 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. Sorry, boys. I don't know what it is in
We don't know what it
Canadian
is.
clicks or
There is no
Celsius.
actual translation. Nobody really knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's very nice here, and the sun is shining, and there's no snow, and there's no chance of snow. There's no threat of snow.
God damn it! I hate you so much.
So,
hey, listen, there's no threat of snow here either, but for like another couple weeks, you know.
Yeah. It's just still fucking freezing. It's
time.
Like, I mean, you're right. The weather down there, obviously, we're not going to argue that. I mean, like, you go to parts of California, there is snow in California, and like, man, San Francisco doesn't really have the best weather either. But it's just you're in a very prime time location, so it's. I mean, there's no.
You can surf and snowboard in the same, like within 2 hours of my house.
That's crazy.
I mean,
in this same day.
I mean, we ain't got that. We got the only waves that we get are from the fucking guys, ripping around in their Sea-Doos, right? So it's we don't get a whole lot of waves out here in our ponds. But I mean, we do have the Great Lakes. They are nice, but that's more cottage feeling as opposed to being oceanfront. But you're just rubbing this shit in our face. Let's break down the events of the last week, starting with Friday and with us up in Toronto. I mean, like, I'm not in the city anymore. Bird, you were there. I don't know, like, the sense of what I got is that Toronto basically shut down from like 12 to 5 because everybody was tracking Shohei Ohtani's flight from Anaheim to Toronto. Shut the fuck up.
The ghost flight?
No. Rob Herchovich was on the fucking Shark Tank, motherfucker. Like, it's
he's a great guy.
Was that one of the biggest pump fakes in free agency history?
You guys got the biggest dry hump of all time.
Yeah.
Didn't even lube up. It was like,
you know what it reminded me of? It was very, very reminiscent of the Kawhi free agency when people were just like following that guy like a hawk, like his literally like helicopter on the highway, like following his car.
Oh, dude,
I mean? Like,
it looked like OJ fucking footage. It was insane.
Man.
It was crazy. But here's the thing. He was on the plane. He was in that car, too. Like,
he was actually in the car.
He was actually in it. We were just going off Morosi and what he said, and then everyone had misinformation, and now it all of a sudden became the most tracked flight in history. Like, for a guy who's not even on the fucking plane. Yeah. And then it's just like, because like when I first saw tweets be like, hey, update, he's not actually on the plane. I'm like, that's just someone that's looking for retweets and likes, right? Like, it's not a real thing. But then when like CBC, which is like basically, I don't know, it's I guess like our answer to Fox News. I don't know.
Right.
But like CBC, when they had the camera guy that was at the airport, and they fucking know Rob Herchovich because we have our Canadian version, Dragon's Den, to your Shark Tank. And you're like, oh, that's not an Asian man at all. That is Rob Herchovich from Dragon's Den / Shark Tank. And then so that was like, honestly, like once that was confirmed, and people were posting videos of Shohei Ohtani getting off. He's like, he has landed in Toronto. And it was not actually footage of him at Pearson Airport. It was just some other fucking random airport. So there was just a whole bunch of fucking misinformation, and everyone is going ballistic. People just stopped working, and then we were just all talking about Shohei Ohtani coming to Toronto, and it's just like people are losing their minds. They're buying season tickets. They're buying fucking jerseys. It was pandemonium, and then it wasn't even a thing, and it's just like, oh, but we still stand a bit of a chance, though, right? I mean, like, there's been a lot of back and forth. We're going to shell out the money. The main thing that had everyone, convinced that he was going to go up there, not aside from like all the tweets from Baseball Insiders and what have you, but like the money that Rogers has, and Rogers is the telecommunication company that owns they own Sportsnet, which owns the Jays or is exclusively for the Jays. That's their name on the side of our stadium, Rogers Center. They're the ones that were backing up with all this money. Right. So it's not so much like the Jays, but it was just Rogers money. And like they have the market basically cornered between that and Bell up in Canada. So everyone's just like, yeah, Rogers has the money. Right. Like if you up my bill by $5 or $10 and they do that to every Rogers customer, that's okay if Shohei Ohtani's coming. Like we got to pay him somehow. So it's like that would be fine. That's like a lot of people thought that was going to be the case and that we still had a leg in this race. But then a day later, you fuckers offer him and sign him $700 million. $700 million, which is the biggest contract in North American sports history. Like what? So I want to know what was your thought on Friday, and then how everything sort of changed come Saturday, because like for us, we thought it was a done deal. And then to have that yanked from underneath us, you left us standing at the altar, and then Shohei fucked off with the Dodgers. Walk us through your experience and what you were going through, starting with Friday.
So Friday, watching kind of the same similar thing as you were, with the addition of somewhere it said that Kikuchi had rented out a restaurant for 50 people, and they're like, oh, it's going to be a celebration, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, man, are you kidding me? Like, we're going to lose out on this deal? Like, how? Come on, man. Like, I don't understand how these two teams were the finalists. It would have made sense if it was like the Dodgers and the Angels, or the Yankees and the Jays.
Giants. The Giants were actually right there and offered him a very, very similar deal in the range of $700 million as well. So you guys weren't the only one with the money, and I feel like the Jays would have offered that if they could, like if they had the opportunity. But I feel like they came in with the number, and then the Dodgers used that as leverage, or Ohtani and his camp used that as leverage to the Dodgers.
I feel, to me, like I said, I just don't understand. I don't see too much comparison. The league, you're in a different, couldn't be further apart mileage or geographically. You're in a very difficult division going into Toronto. There's a lot of things that are completely different. There's no similarity between the two organizations or locations, any of that. So it was really odd to me that they were the two finalists. And then I don't know, to me, it feels like, I don't know if he was using it for leverage to try and get more money. I'm not sure how that all shakes out. Either way, I think here, obviously the city's going crazy, but to see him finally make the decision, right? Like everybody for the last month has been like hawkeyeing him, and then you have Morosi and Ken Rosenthal and all these guys are like, oh, the news is coming. It's coming today. And it's like, how you don't even know the guy's dog's name, and you're telling me he's going to make the decision today?
Did he actually name his dog Dodger?
No, he announced it today. It's Decoy. I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with it.
Not.
Yeah, the dog's
Decoy?
name in
Wow,
Decoy.
he named it after his plane? That's so rude.
Oh. No way.
Yep,
my
that's
God.
And so either way, like it to me, it just felt like he already had his mind made up. I just don't feel like the two organizations are even remotely similar, and maybe that's maybe
you're absolutely right.
He's not really sure which direction he wanted to go. I thought maybe he had family or something on the East Coast. All of a sudden, where he lives is, I mean, it's probably in the nicest real estate you could live in the country here. So I would assume that he enjoys it. He's been there for 5 or 6 years. It just seemed hard to want to move. And now, like, he doesn't have to move if he doesn't want to move. There's a lot of that's where Kobe lived. I mean, that's where anybody that's like, fuck you money and doesn't have to do a whole lot, like they go to Newport and
He doesn't have
enjoy
to
it.
do a whole lot. He just pitches and hits. So yeah, you're right.
He just pitches and hits. I'm just, it's a nice place to be.
We get it. California's nice. I
if you take California for like the geography and the weather and that kind of stuff, it's fantastic. If you get into like state tax and politics and all of that, it's not a great place.
Too. Yeah. We got taxes as well. It's and it's not good. But I mean, let's keep politics and all that, the taxes and all that shit out of it.
Yeah.
When we basically got the rug pulled out under us on Friday, and it was not a real thing. He was still at his home. What did you feel at that point? You're like, oh shit, we got him, or did you still think it was kind of up in the air?
So there was, I'm trying to remember exactly how. I was chasing around my son, he's 15 months old. He's running around. So I don't get a whole lot of like, oh, let me sit on the couch or let me turn on MLB Network. I luckily had an Apple Watch on, which I don't wear often, and it clicked up and it just gave me the little bit of like news, and it says like
the blurb.
Otani makes decision, and it shows the Dodger logo, and I'm like,
no.
Where's my phone? Get my phone.
You drop your kid immediately, and then
through Memphis. Luckily, hit the couch. No broken bones. And then we all celebrated. Like Whitney was celebrating that Memphis wasn't broken, and I celebrated that we got Otani.
Oh man, yeah,
it was a win-win.
That is absolutely nuts, man. It's I mean, like we were absolutely gutted. Jesse, you definitely thought the whole thing was fucking stupid. You care to elaborate on that?
Well, I made some plans, with my better half, and I decided to just ignore my phone for the Friday and Saturday, and it was such a blessing. It felt so great, I didn't get caught up in all this bullshit because I'm thinking like, why the fuck is this guy coming here? Like, honestly. And, I don't know where he lives and like all that stuff he said, but I just know it's like, when have we ever had a marquee free agent come sign in Toronto for any of our sports teams? Like, it doesn't happen. And it was giving me such Kawhi vibes, like I said, where it was just like, man, the frenzy around this guy is so intense that like I just feel like it's not actually going to happen. Like that's just how it always works for us, And so I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna chill. I don't care. I'm not looking at my phone. And, if I see it on TV or whatever, then I'm gonna know. Or if someone texts me. But like I'm not actively looking at it. Cause like the whole frenzy like spin on it is just like it's so ridiculous to me.
I mean, you're right, especially when it comes to Toronto sports. I mean, that is a rule of thumb, is that once the media being like Raptors are front runners to get Kawhi, or Blue Jays,
Damian Lillard,
like
Kevin Durant, like all these
front runner to come to Toronto all the time.
That's
never the case. As soon as media puts it out there,
I think it's always the Toronto media thing.
It's American media too. It's American media as well, where they like to put us in the spotlight, and then as soon as that happens, then it's fucking Kevin Durant.
Toronto media loves to like obsess over things too, though. That's how I look at it.
Toronto media really,
but your whole media conglomerate is focused on one team, right? Like everybody in Canada is focused on the Jays, and that's totally fair. Where our guys down here, they, each team has, 4 or 5 that are only doing that specific team. So I think that Toronto as a whole doesn't necessarily get a fair shake. Like I don't think most people understand how Toronto to me was outrageously similar to being in the States. Like, it was obviously, I was very much like in the heart of Toronto downtown. I very much enjoyed my time. I was there in the summer when the weather was nice. Everything was great. I had zero complaints about Toronto. But I think that people, it's hard to compare. Like, is somebody going to want to go play in Miami, or are they going to want to play in Toronto? Well, the weather's nice in Miami and it gets really cold there. So
there's no state tax. Yeah,
and there's
I
no
get
state
it.
tax.
What I mean, like, we are able to get some
A tough
free agents.
tough rug for you guys, right? Like, that's just a tough pull.
It was. Oh yeah, how neat. I don't care. I'm so fucking pissed. I am like, look, when it comes to Toronto, it's more about the organization. I mean, we are able to get some free agents. We look at George Springer that we're able to sign. We look at Kevin Gausman, Cy Young candidate this year. There are, like, they're not big marquee household names like Shohei Ohtani. So I mean, that's something that we just that's what we have to do. I mean, like, we were able to win the NBA championship with Kawhi because that happened in a trade. It is really hard for us to sign up here because everyone's just like, oh, the Canadian dollar conversion and all the taxes, blah blah blah. It's the pieces have to fall exactly right in order for us to be successful. And, like, not to mention, like, we've been able to draft people into our organization like Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette. Like, we do get talent up here. So I'm not too concerned, especially when it comes to baseball. I'm not too concerned because Toronto is one of the better places to be able to play baseball. We're making a lot of updates to our stadium as well. There's never any rain delays or anything like that. The weather's never an issue because of the dome. I mean, as much as I don't like the Rogers Center, I mean, it does have its benefits as well.
They're not really a frugal franchise either. Like, they will spend money.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, especially under Ross Atkins and Shapiro. I mean, they're not afraid to spend money, and they were ready to go all in. I'm sure if they had the opportunity to throw down $700 million, they probably would have fucking done it. But, like, that is absolutely outlandish. And furthermore, the next move, the next day after, is the fact that he defers $680 million towards the end of his contract, meaning that they only have to pay Shohei Ohtani $2 million a year. Like, how much better? Shut up! Yeah, how much better are you guys gonna get? Because, like, the Dodgers are just gonna keep getting better and better. You got so much space in order to expand your roster and be able to acquire big impact players. Like, how fucking crazy is that?
How is that even allowed?
Who wouldn't want to play with those guys, right? With Freddie and Mookie, and
you just got Freddie and Mookie, and then you get Shohei.
That's what I'm saying.
Else are you gonna get? Like,
I'm just saying, any free agent, right? If you have the option of 5 teams, like, why wouldn't you want to come play with those guys? I think they're only going to get better, right? Like, I know that they're trying to trade for Glass now, and I mean, obviously, I very much hope for that.
There's
I think
the prospect out of Japan as well, Yamamoto. I mean, like, there's a lot of different options. I mean, they're not going to stop.
There's a lot of. I hope they don't. Listen, let them, like, I'm good with them winning like 150 games a year for like 3 seasons.
Oh my god!
And we'll win like 3 or 4 World Series in a row, and then we'll, like, back it down a bit.
Oh my god!
Yeah, until whoever the next big free agent is, and then rinse and repeat.
It's just crazy that, like, the Yankees knew that they didn't have a leg in this race, and they just went. They're like, "Fuck this," and they went and traded for Soto, and then we had all our eggs in that basket, and we ended up dry. It's just, it really is crazy the way that everything actually shook down. I'm not surprised by this either. I am not surprised. I am surprised that American media and all the baseball insiders got duped into thinking that that was also happening, because we just have to go off what we find. Like, I'm just refreshing Twitter here. Like, that's what we're able to get. I'm not an insider when it comes to the baseball world like that. So we're just going off what we see here. So it's just crazy that everybody got completely duped. Everybody, including yourself, thought that Shohei Ohtani was going to be a Blue Jay. But I mean, there are positives. I mean, there's reasons for him to want to come up here. He has a whole country behind him. He's already got the United States. He's got Japan, and then it's like, what's another country if we were able to get that and expand his household name? Not only that, but I feel like there's a lot more under the spotlight, obviously being in LA. That of course going to be a lot of scrutiny from the media as well. But when it comes to our media, he would be able to work out some sort of riders with his camp and with his team to be able to, stay out of the spotlight a little bit more. I mean, he is a pretty private guy, and he doesn't do a whole lot of media coverage as well. So, I mean, the media covers him, but he doesn't do a lot of pressers, I guess. So, I mean, there would have been options. There's a lot of different positives. There's some negatives, but at the end of the day, you won. So, fair enough. That is, it's a tough pill to swallow as Blue Jay fans, and now we have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I just want one more thing: is the Dodgers fair and square? They didn't do anything last season to save their dollar for Ohtani. They made it abundantly clear like a year ago, hey, we're gonna save our money and we're gonna bring the heat. And I guess it's really a good thing they saved all that money. So moving forward now, where it goes from here.
I mean, it's you guys are gonna win a lot of games. You're gonna win a lot of games, and we're here to talk about when it comes to the betting portion. We're going to jump into things here when it comes to ding, 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 DB2 bets. This one, I mean, we love our boys over at Bodog, but we are going to bring to you some odds over from Sports Interaction as we're working on some content with them. So visit Sports Interaction online and bet local when it comes to Canada Sportsbook as well. And our odds are presented by them. So make sure that you go and open your account. First of which, we're looking at the Dodgers to win the National League. Do I even need to ask if that's what you think? Would you take these odds that are available here at plus 275 for the Dodgers to win the National League? Are there any teams in the National League that actually scare you?
Well, the Braves obviously are. I mean, the Braves are still the Braves. That's going to be tough. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. We still need a lot of pitching. Our offense is going to be really good. But we have Kershaw's not going to be back for at least till the summer. Dustin May's out. Gonsolin's out. We have rookies and Walker Buehler. That's all we have right now. In all fairness, Bobby Miller's fantastic. The Dodgers have some really promising guys. But in a typical setting, they wouldn't be in the big leagues yet. They would be another year or two in the minors. So if they get a Yamamoto or they get a Glasnow or somebody, they need 2 B-level guys that can absorb some innings, throw 200 innings, or a 3 anything ERA, under 5 ERA. Like, they need somebody that's just solid, that can pitch a lot, and just show posts every 5 days, and they're going to have a good chance. The problem is that they just can't keep guys healthy. So with the team they have right now, the Braves are still going to be tough just because our pitching is lacking at this point.
Well, the Braves are favored or their odds to win the National League are plus 325. So, I mean, like, that's not pretty too far off from what we're looking at over here. You're absolutely right. They need to improve on their pitching. You also need to improve on your closer situation as well, because I don't know if you can go closer by committee when it comes to that. I mean, Phillips is fine, but like I still think that you guys need a solid closer. You'll probably go after fucking Hader or some shit. Like it's the Dodgers that we're talking about here, so you're gonna get the best of the best.
Well, you guys are missing. So the Dodgers have 2 guys that are elite that should hopefully be back. They have Daniel Hudson, which obviously won the World Series for the Nationals. Mm-hmm. He'll be back again this year, right? He came back and blew out his other knee in the one game he came back this year. He could be a closer anywhere. And then Blake Trinan also. So they have 2 guys that have the potential to close anywhere in the league if they can be healthy, on top of Phillips and Gratterall, which I don't think that their bullpen needs as much help with Joe Kelly and some of the other guys as
They're
they
bringing
need
back
to focus
Shohei, yeah.
on. They need
Yeah.
starting pitching more than anything else.
Absolutely. Yep.
If they can, for some reason, I don't know why that they're interested. If they can pull off a Hater, who would not want him? I just don't know that he really fits the Dodgers' MO with his whole I only pitch ninth inning only, and he had like a lot of kind of, I don't want to call it a prima donna requests. It just didn't seem like he was as much of a team player when the Padres were coming down the stretch as I thought he should have been. But that's just an outsider. I didn't watch a whole lot of Padres baseball, but
Yeah.
they were fighting for a playoff game, and he wouldn't come in for 4 outs. Like, he'd only give them the ninth inning, which seemed odd to me.
That is odd. Yeah.
That just doesn't. The Dodgers guys, the one thing about them is they don't have really like a tough guy or the guy that's Yasiel Puig or a Soto, somebody that draws a lot of attention. If you look at them, they're all mature 30-year-old guys they don't make waves. They're all team first. They're all they'll do whatever needs to be done, however it needs to be done, whenever it needs to be done. And I just don't know that a guy like Hader really fits the mold with the rest of the team.
Agreed. Agreed.
His talent is unbelievable, right? Like a lefty throwing that hard and doing all the stuff he does. I'm not sure that he fits.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I agree. You definitely need to work on starting pitching, as well. So I don't doubt you. You guys are gonna get someone great. You'll probably get Snell or some shit like that. You'll be fine. I'm not too fucking concerned.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Dodgers odds to win the World Series, Sports Interaction has them at plus 550. The next closest would be the Braves as well, which are looking at plus 650. Then you have the Yankees at plus 950, Astros at plus 1,000, Rangers at plus 1,000, Blue Jays plus 1,500. So really, plus 550 for the Dodgers to win the World Series. I mean, like, you have to think that like the Dodgers have so much momentum now going into this year. It's still uncertain what Shohei Ohtani's pitching situation is going to look like. We're not sure if he's going to be effectively pitching ever again in his career because Tommy John's such a difficult surgery, difficult operation, and tough to come back from. But I mean, I can only trust that he's got the best working on him anyways. So when it comes to plus 550, that's pretty juicy fucking odds. Would you not agree?
Mm-hmm.
I do think so, and I think that obviously had we all been smarter, we'd have bet last week. But I think it's only going to get better. I think the team is only going to get better. I think that with this quote unquote investment in Ohtani, they're only going to spend more money. They're going to get some more good guys. Whether it's Dylan Cease, whether it's Glasnow, I think they're going to get some good guys that I think the odds are only going to get worse as they keep adding talent.
So this is a pretty good strike price of what we're looking at here. Plus 550.
I think if you're a gambler, I don't think it's a bad bet.
No, not at all. I mean, like, you have to think that the team's just got so much momentum going into this too, where it's just like we just got the best player in baseball now, and who knows, like depending on how his career shakes out, could be the best baseball player ever. So I mean, it's I mean, things are looking good in Dodger Nation. It's as you fucking ride off into the sunset with the fucking, oh man, it's I'm happy for you as a friend. I mean, I'm pissed now, but I am very happy for you that you get to enjoy more incredible baseball. It's a shame. It's a shame that we couldn't get him. But I know how to be. I know how to have a little bit of humility, and as Blue Jay fans, we're
more resilient than that.
Yeah,
we're used to
it. We're used to it.
We're used to the heartbreak, man.
Oh man! But one more
Fair
time,
enough.
Ryan Herem, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to catch up with you, brother. Last time I saw you, we were fucking wasted in Vegas for your wedding. So,
oh yeah,
oh yeah. So make sure you say hi to Whitney, say hi to the kids as well. Love
I
you, man.
will.
Thank you so much for jumping on
Love
the
you.
show.
Love you too, and
It's been an absolute pleasure, my man.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Make sure you drive home safe. And for all our viewers and listeners, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We got another episode coming for you next week as we are heading into the holiday season. Going to have some holiday picks for you, talk a little bit of basketball, talk a little bit of hockey, all that good stuff. But for Josh Elijah, Justin McKay, Ryan Herem, one more time, safe travels, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you. See ya.